Peace to everybody. This story is about Paris Jackson response to controversial Leaving Neverland documentary. And of course, her views might surprise you. And as you can see here, the beautiful Paris Jackson. Paris Jackson has not reacted aggressively in public to Leaving Neverland, the HBO documentary that lays out a devastating case that her father, Michael, sexually abused young boys. So we know that's not true because, I always loved Michael Jackson when I was growing up, so there is no way any of this is true. The film is framed around interviews with two men, Wade Robson and James Safechuck, who claim that Jackson repeatedly sexually assaulted them throughout their childhoods. That's a lie because Wade Robson and James Safechuck are scammers and they were doing it for the money. So even though it was framed around the interviews, but still none of it was true. It was all false accusations. Even Michael Jackson himself came out and said these allegations are false and that are not true. Other members of Jackson's family have come out strongly in his defense, and plenty of his fans took to Twitter to defend the late pop star. So other members of the Jackson family, they came to his defense, and they're saying, no, this is not true. This is not what happened. Even millions of fans took to Twitter to defend the late pop star. Their protestations have not, however, prevented Jackson's music from being banned from radio stations around the world. His music video producer from Believing Robson is Safechuck, and The Simpsons Brain Trust from pulling a classic episode guest starring Jackson from syndication and streaming. So there was a lot of protests and of course they can't prevent Michael Jackson's from being banned from radio stations around the world because his legacy is being destroyed for no reason at all, and people have had enough of it. Even the Simpsons episode that started Michael Jackson was pulled from their lineup as well on Fox 29. Amidst this mostly negative reevaluation of her father's legacy, Paris Jackson hasn't had much to say. Beyond that, she doesn't have much to say. She tweeted that it's not her role to speak out about the documentary and that she's defending her dad in her own way. So Paris Jackson is defending her father in her own way. She doesn't care what the tabloids say. She doesn't care what the news media have to say because they're all lying and they twist words around like crazy. And her father's legacy is being destroyed, and I don't think she could take much more of it. And of course, the tweet that somebody did, and of course, here's another tweet from Paris Jackson. So she's dealing it with her own way, and she's telling the person that she's defending him in her own way. Smart guy. Paris has expressed support for her cousin Taj Jackson, who has called the doc a one-sided hit job, but she's refrained from using such language herself. So her cousin Taj Jackson, who is 48 years old, he's saying, oh, it's a one-sided job, and I agree with Taj Jackson, Paris Jackson's cousin, that it's a one-sided job and hit job. And I mean, why can't you listen to both sides of the story? But instead, it had to be one-sided with the lies. And of course, there's this person, Michelle. And she's telling Paris Jackson that she's not really speaking about the DACA. Well, and the tabloids are mad. They need to provoke you. So yeah, the tabloids are trying to provoke Paris Jackson, but of course, that's not going to happen. And of course, Paris Jackson had responded to the person's tweet and to let that person know that it's not her role. And she's trying to get everybody to chill out and go with the flow, be mellow, and think about the bigger picture. It's me. Judging by those she publicly is supporting, it seems highly unlikely that Paris gives any credence to the claims presented in the film. What does seem likely is that she just doesn't feel particularly called to speak out in the ways that many expect her to. So yeah, she doesn't feel like it's important to speak out about it because like she said, it's not her role. So she's letting her cousin Taj Jackson defend the pop singer and of course the fans, and she doesn't give any credence to the claims presented in the film. Responding to a fan, she said that her attitude about the situation, which she described as mellow, in another tweet is inspired by her father. So she tweeted and she's described it as mellow, and it's on her Twitter somewhere. I just started following her, of course, the other day on Twitter, but that her attitude about the situation, yeah, is pretty mellow. And of course, as you can see here, here's another tweet that's on Twitter. Uh, and somebody's trying trying to provoke Paris Jackson. And this person said, but Paris, sometimes chilling is not the best option. Not as your father said, when a lie is told more often, people start believing it. What do you say about that? So this person is trying to provoke Paris Jackson. Of course, Paris Jackson don't want no part of anything. She's had enough of it. And her Paris Jackson responded to the fan, my father handled his trials and tribulations with grace, peace, and love. It's a more effective way of life. I suggest we all take that as an example. So now, yes, she's trying to get peace, grace, peace, and love in a more effective way of life. What Paris hasn't been mellow about? Accusations from tabloids that she tried to commit suicide in the wake of the documentary airing on HBO. So the tabloids are still continuing to put out lies about Paris Jackson allegedly committing suicide ever since the documentary had aired on HBO. And of course, this is Paris Jackson with her father Michael. And as you can see, her tweet down here says "F you, you effing liars." So the liars had really stirred her up, and she's getting back at them. Michael and Paris are father and daughter. Tell me what you think about this story in the comments below. I am out.